right, guys, you're looking at the thumbnail. You're looking at the title of the video. You already know what time it is. It is time to get active. Shout out to my Instagram at Mediocre Tutorials and Reviews. It's long, but you know how to spell. If you don't, there's a link to it right down below in the description box. Follow your boy. Continue to send me content. The reason why I call out my Instagram is because this video was sent to me on my Instagram, okay? Thank you guys for continuing to support, all right? Title of today's video, Men Don't Approach Beautiful Women Anymore. This is a clip out of a longer live stream, so I'll leave the link to this down in the description box down below if you guys want to continue the discussion. Without further ado.
Do you feel like maybe it's where you're finding men, maybe? Like, the type of men, you think?
Yeah, maybe you need to go to the library.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, or the grocery store, shit.
No, I know.
Maybe be on a
Well,
podcast.
the thing is, also, men don't approach you in LA.
100% no.
So,
Absolutely.
What?
Especially when you're pretty, too. They're like, no.
Yeah, and being plus size is like a whole nother
Yes.
thing.
Oh, my God, girl.
So
I know
that's
it.
why I feel like I only
Really?
meet men like on jobs or online.
Okay.
So, I mean, I would go out with my friends quite often, and the entire time I've lived in LA, I've had definitely less than 10 men approach me. Definitely less than 10.
Well,
Wow.
How long?
Here's the thing. I heard that initially, and I'm thinking to myself, that is massive cap. Okay, it has to be. How? Because LA's got some of the most beautiful collection of women in the world, but I'm wondering if it's also a function of the badder the chick, the less likely that you think that they are single, right? So there's maybe less men approaching those type of women. And then also the standard deviation for bad out in LA is a lot different than like the majority of the country. So those that are like a 6 in LA might be an 8, damn near a 9 in, you know, some other middle of America places. So because there's so many that are so bad, the ones that are not 8s and above are just not getting the traction. And I probably wouldn't say that she's a pretty young girl, but she'd be way more pretty if she lost about 40 pounds, okay? But let's hear some more.
How long have you lived in LA?
8 years.
Wow.
Wow.
I was thinking you're like a couple years.
Like come up to me on the street in
Yeah.
person. Like, guys
Yeah, but
slide in my DMs all
I
the
see
time.
why that doesn't happen in LA though.
Why is that?
Because like LA is one of those places too where one, there's a lot of people that are insecure. One. Two, like rejection is definitely feared out here in LA because like there's been times where like a girl fell and I helped her up and she's like, ugh, and I was just like, wow. Like so
Me
I think
too
like
is a real
even, like,
thing,
you being,
especially in
Oh my
LA.
God.
like yeah, I was like
Okay.
like
It's the birthplace.
the communication, like even going into the elevator the other day, I was like, oh hey, how you doing? And this girl's like, and I'm just thinking like I'm just a friendly person. You know, my mom taught me to speak to people like all my friends from Alabama. But that like I noticed that like, and it might not be like the prettier shit, like anything like that, but I do notice like a level of like, don't talk to me, you know, like there's like
I can
there's
see
like
that.
a stench in the air
Okay.
that's out here.
And I'm going to tell you why
that's
that is.
like that. And so I can see someone not approaching you because they're like, wow, she's a beautiful woman and I don't want to say something. And then she's just like you don't want your day to be fucked up because you said hello to somebody. You know?
I think that's a chance you got to take if you think
carbs
somebody
down,
fired.
But what I'm saying is like after you take 2 chances and you find out that fire is fire, you know what I'm saying? You like, all right, you know what? How many times you gonna touch the stove? You know?
Okay, I
It's
understand.
like,
Well, but this is
Yeah,
something that we
that's a good
wanted to
point.
touch on is like there's this cultural society thing going on, especially if you're in the industry, you're a public figure as a man.
Me too.
You know, you've seen the famous Keanu Reeves picture where he's taking fans with
Have you seen
photos
that?
and have you seen this? This
He
is like
does not touch any.
He will not touch
won't touch a
anybody.
girl.
Yeah, he
takes
doesn't.
A picture, he puts his hand behind their back like this. Like he puts it straight.
Which is brilliant. I you know, to a degree, I think every dude in LA, every dude in Hollywood, especially how sensitive, every dude in corporate America, be very cognizant of where you're placing your hands, You have to be extremely cognizant. Keanu Reeves is a brilliant genius when literally every photo, he's making sure that the hands is out of, and I bet you it's not, he's doing that because it's never happened to him. Like he's never been accused. I bet you it's from experience. He was accused and probably talked to some people and was just like, yo, what is a way that this would never happen in the future? Okay. And well, if you got the photo evidence of you never touching, right? Like it would be more inclined in front of a jury of my peers. If I'm being accused of something, I'd be more inclined to believe someone that literally in every photo that you see, he's like this, like, like hovering, above their shoulder or their waist. Okay. Guys, you got to be very careful out here. Okay. Because it's a real thing. Because if you're not attractive to the young lady, she's going to take that conversation abundantly differently than the same words that are said if she's attracted to you. And that weirdness within that, it blurs a lot of lines. Okay. So it confuses a lot of dudes into not enacting. Okay. Let's keep going.
Straight out, you will not hug them.
See his full palm.
Every single time you see him take a picture. Google it when you get home, but it's so funny.
It'll blow your mind.
It
but
will.
This is a real thing in the industry because there's, and in workplaces, not even just, entertainment industry, but if you're a man and you're alone with the woman, like you don't want that situation to come up. Like if you have stuff, if you have a career, if you have money, if you have whatever, you're in your mind, You're like, okay, one weird situation in an elevator,
it blows up.
It could all be gone.
Yes.
Is it worth the risk? That person has to be really worth the risk. So I'm just curious to pose the question, I guess, back to you guys is, do you think things will change where girls are going to feel like, I don't get approached anymore and they're going to start approaching guys and that's going to be the norm? Or do you think things will just soften up a little bit and it'll be more acceptable to be, hey, how you doing? Oh, I see you fall. Let me help you out.
It's only going to get worse.
You think so?
I think
so
just
too.
resort to online.
It's not just online.
I agree.
And like the good thing about too online is you can see someone's lifestyle through like their Instagram. Like you can look at someone's Instagram and somewhat see like their friends or who they interact, unless they're like, tricky and shit. But I'm saying like you can look at somebody and say, oh, okay, like this person seems fun. Like they, it's almost like, it's like in some ways, it's almost like a resume that you can see. at times.
Sure, yeah. And I tell you guys all day, that's one thing that I do, especially when you just meet someone off of a dating app. I go on their Instagram to see how they judge, right, how they create content based off of the life that they're trying to live, because it tells a story, right? If you see, all of the pictures that they're covered, you know what I'm saying? They dress very modestly as opposed to they're showing their hindquarters in every other photo. That gives you an understanding of how you should be talking to them, how you should be treating them based on the respect that they're showing for themselves. It's their brand identity, it's their brand representation, okay? But, with this whole idea of approaching, I'll be honest, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she's a very pretty girl, okay? But the thing is like, even in middle America, like, let's say we were in goddamn Idaho, I probably wouldn't approach either, because I'm more attracted to women who are more form fit within their bodies, right? Where their BMI matches an average level. You see what I'm saying? So in LA, I'm sure it is a much harder thing to sell when you're, outside of that average limit. You see how I'm trying to pick my words correctly there? All right, let's keep going.
This girl seems fun.
Are you like, oh, okay, this person seems, she has a good relationship with her, this and this,
Yeah.
I think Instagram is good. It's like a quick snapshot into who that person is, but not on their page. You gotta look at the tag photos for the real.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like what they put. People be
100%
faking for Instagram.
Faking.
It's wild how
Big
far
fake.
like the links people will go to.
Oh, I know.
To make it look like
they live in a lifestyle.
Exactly. Literally. You'd be surprised. I've seen niggas who are homeless in
No
real
way.
life, but like you
Popping
so
on
busy
IG
right now, like it's that extreme.
See, that ain't right.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm like the opposite. Like I want to be low key. I don't want anybody like coming up to me like, oh, you did this, you did that. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Humble.
Yeah, but I think there is a psychological thing too, where if you're a very attractive woman or you're a model, I mean, let's be honest, if you're a model, you're kind of like top tier, like as far as at least your face symmetry and all that, where a lot of guys will be like, oh, they're really pretty, they're beautiful. I'm sure guys approach them all the time. And then there's this drop off where they actually get approached less.
This was, yep.
Yeah.
There's actually real statistics that like the really top
like,
beautiful girls, they get approached less.
I'm gonna be honest with y'all. The people that I get approached by the most are like old Hispanic men.
Girl, same.
Old Hispanic.
They shooting they shots.
They just shooting from the hip.
Hola.
The
like whistling. I'm like,
Yes.
oh my God. You know what? Also, I want to tell you guys a little story because this happened to me today. So I live in Hollywood, and I was walking to Starbucks today with my dog, and this homeless guy, you know, he just started walking with me, right? And for me, he was dressed okay. It wasn't dirty. He had Chucks on. He had like a nice little shirt, but he was holding a bowl to smoke weed or whatever. And he was just walking with me, and he wasn't saying, he was like, what's up? I'm like, how you doing? I'm like, I'm good. He's like, yeah, so it's nice out, huh? I'm like, he was talking like a normal person. So to me, I'm not threatened because I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm 5'10". What's Shorty really gonna do? You know what I'm saying? I got my dog. It's broad daylight. I'm walking to Starbucks. I'm on Hollywood Boulevard. Not a big deal. Okay, so he's walking with me or whatever, and he's just telling me stories like, yeah, man, I swear to God, like, man, fuck my brother, man. My brother just stole 10 racks from me. I'm like,
what?
Did he though? So then he's like, yeah, he stole my chain too. I'm like, oh, okay. Okay, cool. So he's like, the fuck? Yeah. So I walk up to the Starbucks and he's like,
how you trying to get a number?
I just lost my card though, but could you give me some?
What?
And you know,
come
me,
on,
I'm like, what is a $3 coffee? I'm not tripping at all. And I'm like, you know what? Like, I'm blessed. Like, let me bless him. Like, well, whatever. I go in there, I get him a bunch of shit or whatever. And then I come out and I give it to him like, hey, like, this is for you. I give it to him and he's like, I'm like, yo, I'm about to hop on a phone call with my dad, but like, it was nice to meet you. Cause I didn't want him to think I wanted to walk with him still. You know what I'm saying? So he's like, oh, thank you. I wish we could do this every day. I was like,
I give him credit.
I don't know what to say. I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna go. He's like, oh, you sure? I'm like, yeah. He's like, I can walk with you. So he kind of like followed me a little bit.
You should have been like, same time tomorrow.
No way.
Yeah, you should have been.
No, because I go to that Starbucks all the time.
Every single day.
No, I'm never
gonna take a mile.
Crazy.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
No. So that made me think like, it's kind of scary. Like sometimes you can't really respond to men because you just, I don't know that sometimes men realize the boundary. Not all men, but some men don't realize like, just because I spoke to you and I said hello does not mean follow me.
Yeah, see, we don't know.
You don't know, you know, and that's the tricky
sometimes
part.
they means follow you. Like, hey, let's hang out.
I'm confused. I don't really like that story, and here's the reason why: is because, you know, if the dude is talking about all of this like negative shit that's happening in his life, and you're continuing to engage in a conversation, and then if he does something after all of that to ask, you know, to get him something after all of that, right? Like, and you actually get it, right? Like, you should expect him to want to either get your number, right? Like, or to try to maintain conversation. I mean, I get it at the end of the day, but communication is key. You know what I'm saying? So like, you know, at the point that he's saying we should do this every day, I'm like, oh, no, I'm sorry. Like, you know, this is just a one-time situation. I was just looking out for you. Right. Like, so, but I guess like at the same time too, it could be kind of weird because you don't know, you know, if their ego is going to get in check, This whole approaching and talking to situation is often weird because there's not a like a standardized definition of the way that as a man I'm talking to you, if it is eliciting a response from the lady that says, yes, let's exchange contact information, let's get to know each other. I think like there's women that face like this double-edged sword of just being nice to people and engaging in conversation. And then often dudes can say, oh, she's talking back with me. So that must mean that, you know, we can go to this next level, mixed with, you know, some dudes who let their egos get in the way and say at the point that she turns me down, or even if she never wanted to engage in a conversation, oh, you dirty, this, that, and the third, and they start talking a whole bunch of shit. And I always think that like dudes like that, it's just like, damn, get your emotions in check. I think to summarize this conversation, I think men are approaching beautiful women. I think that they have to be inherently careful and a little bit more perceptive at the different cues that they are being given, right? Like this whole idea of women playing hard to get. I think women need to understand that they can't do that shit no more, especially in this Me Too environment, because the more that you play hard to get, right? There used to be a time when you did that where it was like a dude would try to hunt even harder or try different angles, but that can then be interpreted as him being a creep and a weirdo by the modern lady today. So you have to give the men some concessions in your life to make the conversation as transparent as what you possibly can and as clear and coherent so we can understand readily, is this a choosing signal or not? Because I guarantee you in that story right there, her going in and entertaining his bullshit conversation and then going off and getting him some Starbucks is a choosing signal. He thought that he was being chose. You got to understand. I understand being nice to people out in public, but dudes are just not going to approach you just to be nice and walk with you. But dudes who are just walking with you are not just trying to be nice. They want something out of the situation. So as long as you make that communication clear, I think that you're going to be A-okay. All right. Questions, comments, concerns. Y'all already know what to do. Mediocre tutorials and reviews at gmail.com. Guys, feel free to hit me up. Okay. I enjoy conversations like this. Okay. Keep on sending me the dope stuff on my Instagram, guys. We'll wholeheartedly appreciate it. Last but not least, my Patreon is mega, ultra booming. You got any questions about it? Beam up. Link to it down in the description box down below to see all of the benefits in store. If you want to get closer to myself as well as my inner circle, I'll see you soon. Until next time, YouTube. Peace.